Hi, I'm Tarun Malik, the Director for Product Marketing and Strategy with the Information Worker business for Microsoft. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking to you about business productivity and the value of software, especially from the information worker stack. The most critical thing for all of us in terms of any sort of usage of technology comes across these days is about saving costs. We try and define various solution scenarios, we try and define various investments, we try and cut down sometimes on information needs to save costs, but I don't think that's the most effective mechanism. So today I'm going to have a long discussion with you on why is it important to really understand the value of the entire stack versus just some standalone products. Most of us have been familiar with using Office 2007 in various forms, shapes and sizes. We've used them from very basic stuff like Word, PowerPoint, Excel for the past couple of decades, but going forward Office has become such an important productivity suite in our lives, both from an IT pro community, from a business development community, and for any sort of worker who has information management or any sort of productivity work application at its usage. When I say security, I am not necessarily meaning security at the desktop level or security at the server level. I'm looking at all-up security, right from the time an IT professional logs into his PC versus a data administrator looking down at data filtering sitting on the servers. One of the things that I wanted to mention is the use of Office Professional Plus. And when I talk about this, a lot of people sometimes tend to understand that, hey, if I buy or if I use Office Professional Plus standalone, I will achieve what I set to achieve in terms of a secure environment. The answer is absolute no. We are looking at using the entire stack. We should look at driving IRM usage with Windows Server, with our server stack in terms of security, with our Office Professional Plus, and see how the business benefit comes up in terms of business usages. For example, in a banking scenario versus an ITES scenario, the usage is very different. The security environment for a banking and financial services environment is going to be much different in terms of filtering information that is going to go to irrelevant people versus an ITES environment where there will be a lot of security in database environments. For example, what sort of an application usage is needed and to be provided. The essence of the entire stack really comes into function at that point in time. Having said this, another aspect that comes to my mind is driving down the costs or saving costs. Now again, when I start talking about standalone applications like Office Professional Plus or Office Enterprise or things like SharePoint and Groove, it comes to mind that I try and use them in a single user environment or in a standalone position. It might not be the most effective way of saving costs. But the minute I start looking at a stack, for example, unified communications, we've all heard of OCS server and other technologies which are voice enabled over IP, which are extremely critical in terms of saving costs. But unless we try and drive the entire stack value, it's not successful. And that's the debate that most of the times we get into, whether IT is getting the cost down or is it just a myth. So the answer is yes, it is getting the cost down, but we need to really evaluate the usage of entire stack. The next and the most important aspect is how do we really look at driving business adaptability into these solution scenarios. Now the role of an IT manager or IT professional is very critical in determining what should be the roadmap. As a IT professional, I need to really evaluate a solution which defines a roadmap with respect to my organization for the next 3 years, if not more. Without a roadmap, I will be at a situation where I'll start either unplugging that and looking for newer versions, or start looking at newer lines of businesses which do not fit into my current solution scenario. So adaptability to business challenges is extremely critical proposition for all IT managers and IT professionals, and that's where the bulk of our investment goes into in terms of driving all solution scenarios towards the objectives of the organization. I would say the important aspect that really comes out as a residual out of this whole action is reducing risk. Now reducing risk could be into various environments. It's not about just having security, doing more with less, saving costs. Reducing risk would be to look at a product roadmap. Do I have a 3 to 5 year defined framework by the solution scenario that I'm looking at? If not, then that's not the right investment. Because my organization needs are going to grow and evolve. I'll have more people, I'll have more business ventures. I need to define the product roadmap for that. So these are the important aspects that become very critical to driving business productivity. Now, besides these 4 or 5 solutions that I said, the last and definitely one of the most important aspects is how do I drive more with less. For example, I already have invested in a certain technology in the organization? Do I look at those technologies which are tangential, which work parallel but might not necessarily converge with this technology? The answer is absolute no, because you'll really land up spending amount of money right now which is going to be not so useful in the coming years or the coming months. You need to look at ways and means of converging all sorts of technology solutions, both hardware and software, into one common platform in the years to come. Lastly, I'd like to summarize that most of the times we as IT professionals tend to sometimes forget, because these are easy things, sometimes overlook. But it's extremely critical to look at these 3 or 4 points. One is doing more with less, defining a secure environment, adapting to business challenges, and lastly, reducing risk to define a roadmap which will take us to driving business productivity with our current investments on IT. Last but not the least, don't forget to log into www.technet.in. It's a website for IT professionals which has information about product downloads, technical information, tips and tricks, and a lot more. Don't forget www.technet.in. Thank you.